Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sorry for the delay, but we are ready to go. Happy New Year to everybody. I welcome all of you to the Tanya Innovations Africa show. This is the first of its kind in 2024. I hope you've all gone well through your 2023 and you're braced even in a much tougher way to face 2024. And we thank God for that. Okay. I would like to let you know that the most awaited guests, Professor Martin C.J. Mongiello, the Conglomerate CEO of United States Presidential Service Center, is here with us tonight. And it's indeed such a privilege that we have Professor Mongiello on this call or on this show tonight. I think for a number of guests that we've had towards December, as I told you, they came for part of his network. And the major reason why we had to bring him on board, it's the motivation or the mentorship that he provides, especially in the area of supporting quite a number of African projects. And when we heard that he has been appointed the new CEO, Conglomerate CEO of US Presidential Service Center, we said, please come on board. Professor Mongiello, very welcome to Tanya Innovations Africa.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we welcome you so much. Already there have been talks about you, even where you've not been, and we're happy that you are live tonight on Tanya Innovations Africa. Professor Mongiello, could you briefly tell us about yourself?
Yeah, thank you. I've lived a life of service. I got started very young, around the age of 4, serving, literally, setting the table, doing the dishes, cleaning house, and have been a life of service ever since then. And so at the age of 17, I enlisted into the American military service and went away after all private Christian grade school and Christian high school. I joined the American military at 17. And after 30 years of that service, including the White House and Camp David, the presidential resort, I retired from the American military. And then I joined with the Presidential Service Center, which hosts the Presents Television Network, Presidential Magazine, different medals, awards, also a school and a gift shop. And we're interested in business and nonpartisan work with our Institute of Service and Democracy for the people and by the people. So a life of service naturally would include going back to where the earth began and where all of the humans came from, which is Africa. We were all black at one point, and then over tens of thousands of years, we have migrated with the panacea and now live on what are different continents. So our work in Africa has been quite prolific.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I can agree on that accord because you've visibly been in so many activities. Can you tell us about your Rotary life? Because I'm told you're a Rotarian too.
Yes, absolutely. I got started with Rotary in 2000 when I was living in Japan, and I was a guest speaker there for hundreds of people in Tokyo. And that was my real first inclination that Rotary was an awesome organization. The majority of those were from the Tokyo Women's League. And then when I moved to live in Hawaii, as well as then the United States moved me to live in Europe, everywhere I went, I saw Rotary and always wanted to join Rotary. So when I moved back to the United States on the North American continent, I was interested in joining Rotary again, but they said they had very strict requirements. If you missed more than 2 meetings per year, you would be ejected out and gotten rid of. And so I was always afraid to join Rotary until about 2 years ago, they changed all those rules and they decided that they didn't want to do that anymore with people, that they were getting rid of the attendance requirements. So that's when I joined Rotary full time and I became the president of two clubs. The first club I was elected as president, and then the second one I've been with the Rotary Club of Global Impact now. And so our new president is doing a great job, Dr. Pauline Crawford.
Okay, 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 okay. Now, okay, we would love to know what the U.S. Presidential Service Center is all about. Can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, and if I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so if you don't mind, I'll share my screen if you would like to enable screen sharing. But our website is just our initials, uspsc.org. So a lot of people are looking for us. Where can I jump in for a week and read all about you? You would just go to www.uspsc.org, which literally stands for United States Presidential Service Center. And if you guys want to enable screen sharing, I will share my screen for the Presidential Center. And part of our big initiatives starting 2 years ago was to start hosting these investment conferences in Latin America, South America, Africa, and Asia. And so we have been very busy in doing that. And that's what led us to be able to get used to the Vision Fund Uganda and Vision Fund Worldwide. And today, in fact, in Uganda, we have 615 loans that are open for small businesses and currently being funded. So that's been keeping us very busy. And I'd love to show you one of our guys, Albert. He's doing so well in Uganda. In fact, he paid back his entire loan, which was last year. And then he's now come back, like many people do. They say, I want to get a second loan, a fifth loan, an eighth loan, a 10th loan. I want to come back every year and grow my business with $100,000. How do I do that? And so that's what we help people do in 55 countries of Africa.
Okay, great. What did you say the Ugandan guy is? What is his name?
His name is Albert.
Albert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much loan did he first get from you guys?
His first loan was $1,075 US.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Moyo, Uganda.
Moyo. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's a refugee, and he has 6 kids who all go to school. You know, he's a hardworking guy, and he always says he got to where he is today not by sitting and not giving up on life. He grows sweet potatoes, millet beans, groundnuts, and sim-sim. And he also sells different kinds of clothes through all these activities. You know, is how he has the money coming in from his business. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to buy farm supplies to grow a variety of crops that he has not been growing. And so he wanted to get all that cash, and then he was pretty sure that he would be able to sell everything, and that would allow him to pay the school fees for his 6 kids. So this began with Albert on July 11th of 2022. He had a 12-month loan through Vision Fund Uganda. And then we were made aware about him through our international portfolio, our international investment portfolio in the Presidential Center, that, hey, we could invest in Albert. And so on June 25th of last year, he paid back his whole loan. Yesterday, he came back and he said, this time I want to borrow $1,600.
Okay. So from what you're explaining, you're breaking it easy for a common man, because Moyo is in the northern part of our country. And thank you for giving that example. But I think to our listeners or the followers, what Professor Martin is saying, as we are talking of U.S. Presidential Service Center, which appears to be higher there, he's literally trying to demonstrate their ability to cascade their programs to the common man. So it actually means that as we are interacting online, as we are talking, this still applies to a common man. Now, Professor Mongiello, the second question, or the interest to people who are following online, would be how does one qualify for such a loan? Do they need to go through a company? How do they make that application? Are all these details on the website? But can you just give us a brief of how people access these loans?
It is all there to see. And I could just tell you that Vision Fund Uganda is only one of the lenders that is approved that we work with. Okay.
Oh, Vision Fund.
So,
Vision Fund.
Yeah. Vision Fund Uganda. Yeah. Visionfund.org. Yep. So that's just one of the funds that we work with.
Okay.
It's certainly not all of them, but if you were to go to visionfund.org, you would be able to see, there how to get into Vision Fund Uganda. 52,000 clients so far, 60% female clients, 203,000 children impacted to date. So they are doing really good. They are a Christian-owned, mission-driven microfinance agency. They do a lot of networking, of course, across caregivers and children and impoverished locations. And their big inspiration is coming from Christian values. But, we do work with Muslim-owned agencies and all types of people, especially in Kampala. You guys have a pretty significant population there of about 42 million people, and your GDP is about 33 billion in United States dollars. So this is just one way that we're able to help people. And with Albert, we're going to go on ahead and invest in him live right now to kick off his money, because we always say, look, you can talk all you want, talk, and have drool drip out of your mouth all down your pants. But the thing that makes the world go round and helps people to achieve peace is cash.
Correct.
Cash, money.
Okay.
Produce the cash now. And so that's what we do. And we do that through a very common, peasant-oriented, disappointing process. Let me tell you how disappointing it is. When you come to us, you've already gone to all the banks and been thrown out. And what you're saying is, now I want to get money from peasants like Professor Mongiello. I'm just a cook. I've been a chef my whole life. I'm a simple person. I am not William Gates. I am not Jeffrey Bezos. I'm not Michael Bloomberg. I'm not a billionaire. I'm just a simple cook who is making salads and flipping steaks for a living as a peasant. So if the person is looking for a sheik to fly in on a G8 aircraft, and maybe 26 people come out of the aircraft, all carrying $1,800 aluminum briefcases, each person has a $14,000 to $18,000 Scottish wool suit from Savile Row, that's not who we are. Okay. And I know everybody's looking for a sheik to fly in, but the chances of finding the sheik who's going to land with his aircraft and a private military company that surrounds him with 6,000 people, that's very rare. You're probably never going to see that during your time on Earth, the sheik who comes in with a private military company. I have seen it, but I have cooked for kings and queens and presidents. But the average person is not going to do that. So what we have done is we have about 2 million average people. And we invest anywhere from $5, $5 US. Remember now, I told you this was going to be very disappointing to listen to. We average about $5 to $25 that we will loan to people. Where we have been very successful, like in Nigeria, we provided $500,000.
$500,000.
$500,000 to Babangona for 25,000 women chicken farmers, and they have already paid back their loan. It was a 12-month loan. They're already done.
Oh, okay, so, that's good.
So now when we went to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, again, it was a previous loan. They had borrowed, these were two gentlemen out of Tanzania, out of a refugee camp. They wanted to borrow about $500,000. They had previously borrowed $100,000 and paid it back through Alltech Lighting. And they wanted to have enough money to get solar lighting made with the plastic and the solar panel and the wiring. And they said, if we had the $500,000 in cash, in a briefcase, cash, we would be able to do that. It would take 6 months for the factory to make the lighting. Then we would need 6 months to start selling all the items, okay, for the solar lighting. So we would need to get the $500,000 in a briefcase, not pay anything back for about a year, and then we'll start paying back the money. And we said, okay, we'll do that. And so that took about, now remember, I said we have about 2 million lenders. Each of those loans took about 5,000 to 6,000 of our people. So it's not hard to do when humans are organized. And Kiva is who we do this through. We've been open for 18 years with Kiva. We've lent over $2 billion on Earth with a B. Let me be very clear. A lot of people think they misheard me, or they ask, did you say 2 million or 2 billion with a B?
Yeah, billion. That's what I wanted to ask. Yes. Billion. Are you talking about $2 billion?
I have, if you look at my profile, you'll see I have a 2 billion badge. I'm one of the $2 billion club members. And now I have another badge next to it, the Road to 3 billion. We have a brand new program we opened up, the Road to 3 billion. And through this mechanism of lending about 2 billion, with 2 million lenders, we have about a 96.34% repayment rate. Our people on Earth, just the regular common person, they pay their money back generally. And they want to come back a second, a fifth, a sixth, an eighth, a 15th time and keep getting more money to grow their business.
Sorry for interruption, Professor Mongiello. Just so that the listeners can be able to follow clearly. What did you say your interest rates on this money that you lend?
There is generally no interest.
No interest.
Generally no interest.
So you have given out $2 billion. Now, would I say this is to Africa in particular or towards the whole globe?
Africa is one of the biggest ones that we focus on, the 55 countries of Africa. And depending on which country you go to, the lender there may charge a small interest rate.
Okay.
They have to obviously make money somehow to stay open, or they'll go into bankruptcy and close. And don't forget, we do have, occasionally a person who doesn't pay the money back, so you have to cover those losses. But right now we have almost a 97% repayment rate after 18 years.
Okay. So maybe one other thing. Here you talked about Vision Funders or Vision Fund in Uganda. But remember that we have listeners online right now from South Africa. We have from Tanzania. We have some from Zimbabwe. Okay. Now, I think I want you to be talking to these people who are online. One of the things that I asked is how these people access these funds. In Uganda, you talked about Vision Fund. Now, is there a way we can say that to people who are listening right now, if they wanted to access this fund, they have a way they can write directly to USPC, or what is the process? Just tell us the process of accessing this fund.
Yeah, if they go to the USPSC.org, anybody can write to us, and we'll send them the information. And I can tell you what that information is going to say. It's going to say all throughout Africa that we loan through Kiva. And when they go to kiva.org, preferably they've already joined us, because we do require people to be a member of our investment fund if they want money from us. Okay. Now, we don't charge them anything. A lot of times we lose money on currency loss, maybe $1 or 50 cents on currency loss. And we're willing to accept that. Okay. But if they want money from the United States Presidential Service Center, then when they write to us on our website, they're going to say, hey, I want to join your fund. I realize it's no cost. There's no fee. You're not going to charge me anything. I just want to be a member of what you guys are doing. Now, I might be able to help somebody in 10 years, but not today. Right now, today, I've got my hand out. I'm looking for cash. Fill it with money now. Okay. And so we're going to send them a response showing them how to come in and join us. And then from there, they're going to see exactly, we send them the directions, how to apply, whatever country they live in. Okay. Now, South Africa, I can tell you, in South Africa, I have not seen anything being lent there for quite a while. You know, you have to have, obviously, a lender, you know, that wants to play by the rules. In Burkina Faso, we have 19 open loans today. In the Congo, 81, Côte d'Ivoire, 57, Egypt, 35, Ghana, 7, Kenya, 563. Kenya's really got their act together in Africa. They generally run 500 to 1,000 open loans per day. They're like an... Oh,
is like that from you?
Well, we're part of that. I have a tremendous amount of investments in Kenya in farms, mostly farms, but I'm not doing all of those. I don't have that much money. So, okay. But, you know, when you combine a whole bunch of people together, like I said, we have 2 million lenders. When you combine a whole bunch of people together, we can do anything. In Liberia, we have 103 open loans, Madagascar, 7, Mali, 17, Mozambique, 61, Rwanda, 129, Senegal, 530, Sierra Leone, 40, Tanzania, 62 open loans today. And in Uganda, it just went up. We have 618 open loans for small businesses. And we're going to knock those down by the end of the month. Those 618 small businesses are going to be gone. And we're going to replace them with brand new people in Uganda who are looking for money because they've gone to the banks and were thrown out.
Okay.
The bank asked them to leave now and do not come back here.
Okay. Now, do you have some priority project sectors? Because, you know, we have different ecosystems in different countries. For example, in Uganda, we're talking about cooperatives. Yeah, what the government has done in terms of encouraging the common wananchi into the cash economy. They are encouraging people to form groups in forms of cooperatives, and then they could be able to help them to get into you know, different sectors, especially agricultural sector, because that is one of the most predominant sectors in Uganda. So when we're talking about these loans, from your perspective, do you have specific sectors you pay attention to, or does it work in relation to how the people are organized? Or they can come as individual, or they can come as a registered company? Any criteria there?
We have no criteria for us other than to balance our portfolio. We have noticed that we have become imbalanced, too heavily invested in food and farms and too many women. At one point, we were up to about 75% of all of our loans were in women. So starting late last year with our Asia Investment Summit, we started to more so look for men and tried to balance our portfolio in different sectors, you know. But no, we have no hard and fast rules as long as they're approved in their country that they live in. We don't care whether they're into construction or clothing or knitting, farming. We also lend money about $8,000 a year to a gentleman in Ghana. He's just an artist. He makes African masks and paints them out of wood. And every year he comes back to borrow like another $8,000. And then he turns that into $16,000 in sales, interest free. And the next year he comes back again and he wants another 8 grand. And this is what he does.
Okay. Okay. Just before we go on, allow me to read some comments from the members online. First of all, I want to thank all the members online. Sorry that we began a bit late, but there are 175 members following us live. Thank you for being live on Tanya Innovations. Lydia Nadongo says, thanks for the talk show. I'm Lydia, manager Daniel Hotel and Spa Ginger. Yes, for those who want to go to one of the best spas, please visit Daniel Hotel. Thank you, Lydia. Lutikanga Ronald says hi. Amet Dabas Products eagerly waiting from Iganga. Amet, I hope that you are online and you are able to follow. Since you're in business, you are listening to what Professor Martin is submitting, and I hope that there's one or two things you can be able to pick from. Then APCC Secretariat, I'm waiting in the waiting room. I don't know what that is. Then there's Evans from Nairobi, following live from Nairobi. Thank you, Evans. JE Travel Bureau Limited. Thanks for the talk show. We learn a lot. J Travel Bureau Company, tour and travel all around the world. Yes. If you want travel, please, JE Travel Bureau is available, being run by Shakila. Thank you very much. Brian Twatwa. Brian Twatwa is one of our members from Tanya Innovations. He's following live from Estonia in the in Europe. Thank you, Brian. Regards to the members in Estonia. Evan said, this is a great, for example, if I'm in Kenya, how can I connect? Give us an example of a company in Kenya to connect with. I think what Evans from Nairobi is asking, Professor Mongiello, is that you have shown that Kenya is very active. And I think he's asking maybe a company that they can join with in Kenya. But if I got Professor Mongiello correct, he said, if you went to www.uspc, which is United States Presidential Service Center, .org, you will be able to get guidelines of how to enter. But
yes, you can write to us there. Anybody can email us there very easily, and we'll send you the instructions how to join us.
Yeah, so I think that should not be a problem. I hope you've been able to pick that. Most of the statistics Professor Mongiello is giving are readily available on our website. It's a free, it's a transparent platform, and therefore you should be able to get clean information of how you can apply and join. Thank you very much, those who are online. We shall keep moving. Yes. Prof, coming back to USPC, what does it mean to be a conglomerate CEO? Because I already knew you to be heading many of the communication platforms of United States Presidential Service Center. What does it mean to be now the Chief Executive Officer or the conglomerate CEO of USPC?
Yeah. So I was actually the CEO for about 8 years of the United States Presidential Service Center. And now I have much broader duties worldwide as a chef and working in food and working on food policy and food issues and farming. So these also now include the United States Presidential Culinary Museum, the Inn of the Patriots, the marketing company, of course, that does all of the wonderful, amazing things that we do with our partners in marketing, branding, advertising, publicity, and promotion. Very important today. Anybody trying to get the word out, you've got to have a great grasp on social media and how to do filmography and cinematography is very important because that's what led us to open up the television network. We realized that we wanted to try to reach people like you are through podcasting, through Instagram, through Amazon Live, and we wanted to broadcast and simulcast to all 205 countries. And the production of that led us to realize that we must develop and understand exactly how to do streaming television ourselves and how can we stream to 8 channels live simultaneously across the world. And how do all of these plugins and codecs work, for Instagram and for Amazon Live and for LinkedIn broadcasting. So it's quite a bit of duties and responsibilities that I have. And I think the reason that I've been so successful is praise God. Um, I've been gifted with the capability to learn anything. And when somebody says, well, hey, do we need to bring in an 18-year-old to explain how we're going to get on Instagram and Amazon Live while we're broadcasting on LinkedIn and YouTube? And I tell them, no, I'll show you right now how to do that myself with my own hands and mind. I don't need to have a young person come in right now. It's required that I know how to do all these things as well in the Presidential Center. And in answer to one of your colleagues who asked in Kenya, who are we working with there? I can tell you the 1 Acre Fund has been tremendously successful in Kenya. We've been working with them now 147 months, and they provide all of the best seed and programs and training. The 1 Acre Fund in Kenya, Juhidi Kilimo, 167 months in Kenya, also extremely successful. These are just two ECLOF in Kenya, 115 months. Now, if you go back to like the 1 Acre Fund in Kenya, and people ask, like, well, Marty, you said you've been working with them 147 months. That's a long time. How many people have borrowed in Kenya? I can tell you it's about 352,000 that have borrowed. And just in that
Just in
one
Kenya?
lender, no, that's just that one lender, the 1 Acre Fund.
Oh, okay.
That's just one of
350,000.
many
Wow.
lenders that we work with, 352,403 people, $23 million, 644,000. And, if you look at their statistics, they're very good because we update our website about every 4 seconds with international reports. Everything
Wow.
that a person would want to see is there. Their default rate right now is 0.91%. So it's less than 1% default. And we do have an exchange rate loss rate there of 0.16%. So what that means is if I lend $10 to somebody or $100 or $1,000 on the, I'm going to lose like maybe 16 cents
Okay.
because of the American dollar currency loss.
Wow. I think this is quite powerful because when we traditionally talk to people here, all they know is that go to the bank or maybe go and borrow from a friend. But it's great to realize that these opportunities are lying out there. And I hope those who are listening
Exactly.
and following, they should be able to know that these opportunities exist.
And
They
and
are
I would
real.
like to bring that up. I would like to also mention we have a new fund from the United States. It's a $30 billion fund.
30
So
billion
30 billion, and
dollars.
this is for small businesses only. Now, they're
Okay.
two of the strongest, most punishing requirements of it. Because people often tell me, man, I looked at it and it's so difficult. Look, you have to think your way through it. What's the problem? The first thing I noticed when I looked at it as not allowed to be lent to the government. I'm like, that's because the United States does not want this money being turned into a road or an airport. It's $30 billion directly loaned from the United States to the small business anywhere in Africa.
Wow.
Okay. So you're not allowed to involve your government, and it's not allowed to go to a bank. It is a
Okay.
direct loan to the human being.
Okay.
Okay.
So
This,
the
this is a
listeners, I can
brand new
just
fund.
reframe. Prof, that's a big point. Let me just put it in our traditional accent. Professor Mongiello is saying there's $30 billion that is available to small scale businesses, and you can apply for it directly. It doesn't have to go through the bank, it doesn't have to go through the government. All it needs is for you to have an idea, and then the information is transparently available on the site. So you simply need to come up with an idea, make sure that it makes the commercial sense, and there you
Yes.
go. Now the question
Now, on
comes
that,
back to you, to very many people listening back there. Did you have
on
this information? Did you know that this type of fund is available and you could be able to exploit it if you have the idea? So therefore now here, what we push back to the listeners, and also for purpose of mobilizing other people, especially at the universities where we are looking at entrepreneurs. Now, this is a way to tap. This is a route we need to think about. Some of this information might not be readily available through maybe local governments. It might not be available from your leaders. Sometimes they don't even know. And it's the reason Tanya Innovations brings some of these live talk shows, because the information we are sharing is live online. I have seen things that Professor Martin Mongiello is doing, and that's why I was so amazed, and I thought that we could have this talk, and I think it's a very productive talk to those who are listening, and the many people we have behind us who might be having ideas but they don't know where to go. Okay, go on, Prof.
yeah, also in in Kenya, I mentioned Johidi Kilimo. They are doing very well. Also in Kenya, they're just another example of another lender that you could go to. In Kenya, 167 months now, about 100,528 borrowers, and the total number of loans is $37,355,000, 765. And if you look at their loans at risk right now is about 31.56%. Their default rate is only 1.06%. The exchange loss rate on them is 2.37%. The profitability, which is return on assets, is very low. It's just 0.7%. So again, they're doing fantastic things over 167 months of being open. We know that it works. We know that people are very happy when you have 100,000 borrowers coming in and saying, "Hey, I was just thrown out of the bank, and I heard that maybe you guys could help me." Yeah, you're going to have to sit down. Yes, you're going to have some paperwork. Yes, you're probably going to have to tell them your name and someone's going to write it down on a piece of paper. You can't just walk into the office punch somebody in the face and get a brown bag of money. That's not how anything works. You're going to have to sit down and do an application. But, this is where people go when the banks tell them to get out. They come to
Okay.
us. And I can tell you, people in New York, when I talk with them, they're generally very angry and pissed off to find out what we're doing. They think it's childish until they start to hear about like our numbers. And I'll tell them we have people that are lending $5 and they're like, what? $5. Don't ever call me again. Okay, I'm doing a deal right now this afternoon for 5 billion. And you're talking about $5? This is ridiculous. And I'm like, no, it's not ridiculous because we're headed towards 3 billion ourselves right now. And we've been open for 18 years. So Kiva is very, very, very successful.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they want to know, well, how are you doing this? And how can I get involved? I'm like, you can get involved, but you're just not going to make a lot of money like you're used to. The people doing a $5 billion deal are used to pocketing like 200 million for themselves, if
Okay.
not even more.
Okay. So, what do you think? You've just been making your submission, and I was thinking about young entrepreneurs in universities. I'm looking at students in colleges who are trying up new ideas and coming up with these funds. Do you think they could be potential beneficiaries if they are well organized? If we could pass through these universities and try to...
If you can have two guys out of a refugee camp in Tanzania say, hey, we're not in college, we're not educated, we don't have suits, and we won't be showing up with a tie. Okay. In fact, we're taking a bus in. We don't even have a machine to drive in or a car. And we want to borrow 100 grand because we think our idea could revolutionize solar lighting and power and cooking in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And they get that 100 grand and they pay it back. And then last year they come back to us and say, so now we want 500,000. Guess what? They're getting ready to come back again. It's not going to be 500,000 this time. The request is going to be like, can we get like 2 to 4 million in cash?
All right.
And it's always based on a good idea and doing good work and not disappearing to South Africa. And by the time Interpol catches you, you're driving a Lamborghini Countach and you blew all the money and spent it. It's not about that. It's about doing a good job and helping people and being honest.
Okay. I think that answers a number of possible persons that
thank you
will
so
be
much for
able
having
to
me on
utilize
today.
this service. So, any parting comments, submissions that you want to work in these closing minutes?
I just want to say thank you to Tanya Innovations for all you're doing. I've been well aware of you guys since last year, and our friends out of Finland and Sweden and other Nordic countries who want to help and do good things in Africa. Thank you so much for your excellence of what you're doing to make the world better.
Okay, so I'd like to thank you very much, Professor Mongiello Martin, for sparing time, first of all, to come on this talk. I would want to confirm to you that this was a very productive talk because we have quite a number of citizens, people who are trying to come up with ideas. They don't even know that such opportunities actually exist. And
Yes.
I think this was a very useful talk. But above all, for sparing time, you have mentored many. We shall have this video well recorded on Tanya Innovations, and we shall share it through our networks. For those who would think that, they find this an important opportunity to be able to exploit. We wish you well for your term in office. You have all our best blessings from Africa. and Tanya Innovations will work closely with you to ensure that we can help people who need these services, including Tanya Innovations itself, of how we could be able to help our continent, our countries, to exploit these opportunities and work together with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And before we just go off, I want to thank the listeners and the viewers tonight. We apologize the program started late. I hope for those who will be able to access this video later, and for those who have been online, you would agree with me that this has been a very useful talk. And what Tanya does, we're trying to do things different. Sometimes we close ourselves with a lot of political talk and overfeed on the media, and sometimes it does not help our people. So Tanya Innovations is trying to ensure that, we can have some of these persons who can come and mentor, who can talk about opportunities that are beyond the borders. Because most of the time people think everything you need is either coming from government, or you think it must be from the community where you are, or it is coming from a politician X. You have heard from Professor Martin, 30 billion US dollars available for everybody across the globe to access. So it's about how further you can be able to exploit this fund and opportunities. And I think there can never be another chance better than that. Prof, you are saying something?
No, I was just saying have a great 2024.
Well, okay. Yeah, happy 2024 too. So we wish you well. Let us pick from there. If you are stuck, you want to exploit this fund, please, they have told you the website where you can go. But in case maybe you need further information, get in touch. We shall be able to guide you. The information is readily available. Thank you all, and God bless you. Bye-bye.